Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beavermont, and today I am have the pleasure of being joined by Ralf Scheepers of Primal Fear, who just put out a new record, or is putting out a new record, Domination, September 5th, off of Raining Phoenix Music. Um, Ralph, how does it feel to keep putting out power metal for this long and have people still interested in it?
It feels like living my day, living my life,
Yeah,
because that's what I love to do: making music, playing music live, writing music, which comes from my blood, from our blood. It's not only me; it's an entire team writing in Primal Fear. It's Matt, Magnus, and me so far, and everybody's always involved, invited to write. So yeah, it feels like my daily coffee.
um, Taki, you mentioned Magnus, and I wanted to ask about Magnus because Magnus took a break from touring with Primal Fear for a few while, but he's back now. What has that been like for y'all?
Yeah, Magnus wanted to come back like for years now again because his kids are grown up. The reason
Yeah,
why he couldn't tour because his wife has a great job and he took care of the kids and produced music at home. And he wanted to go back on the road again since years already, but there was the entire team with guitarists didn't want him have him as a three piece.
yeah,
So now you know what happened last year with the team change, and so of course Magnus was coming back to the team again, playing live.
yeah, and yeah, and you mentioned a change. Magnus coming back live, and the only new kind of different is Primal Fear. You've had a couple new members over the past year, Andre and Thalia. How was that transition, and what do they bring to the band?
Yeah, so as you know, what happened? Three people somehow left. One guy was a substitute of Matt anyway, the bass player Alex Sensen. He never was a permanent member. And then there was problems in between two guys in the band, not me included. And they had a fight going on. You know how it is sometimes. I was in
Yeah,
between. I was not very happy at that. Now I am, of course, because the entire team is great. So we had to look for the drummer was clear already anyway because Andre replaced Michael back in the days when he was ill anyway as a touring drummer, and he does a great job, fantastic job. So he's now also a permanent member as a studio and live drummer for Primal Fear. And Magnus was there all the time. He wrote in the background, as I already mentioned. So it was clear that he's, of course, now a permanent member. He always was.
yeah,
And we were looking for another guitarist. We took our time. There were so many applicants, and we could have choose great names. But
yeah,
we thought let's just relax a little bit. We are not in a rush, so we negotiate a little bit. And I got to know Tadia before all this happened as a person. When we met in Italy, I did this gig with Gamma Ray back at the Lupolo, the Rock,
yeah.
and I got to know her personally. We chatted just about scene, a little bit about music and so forth. I never thought that we have to look for a new guitarist, but she came into my mind again after all this happened. So I just watched some material of her online, and of course, I mean, the vision is great. She's looking great, you know. So
Yeah.
we asked her, and if she wants. I mean, this is a very brave decision, but we wanted to have. We always do some brave stuff here and there. So in the end, it really worked out after the first rehearsals, and of course, she brought her solo work also into the album. Nobody was able to write something because it was too late. The songs were written, but I mean, Andre and Fortalia, it was too late. But and in terms of solos and everything, she brought her style into it in her writing of solos. So that's now a complete team again. We played two gigs, the festival gigs, all went great, and we're already happy. There's a fresh wind. Everybody's motivated again, and that's a good way to work now.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now you're following up 2023's Code Red, and I'm wondering in what ways is the new record Domination? How is it? How is it a different album? How is it different sonically? How is it different thematically? Every record has to have a little bit of a change. Can you preview that for me?
Yes, I mean, take a listen to it. I mean, it's again, and I think we're really happy that we have this three-piece uh, guys writing, and we're really happy to have so many ideas. And we collected like 25 songs again in our space where we collect the stuff. And in the end, we decided for 13 songs, which we thought stand out, and they do. And I would say if you go for the first single, for example, for Far Away, this is a typical Primal Fear melodic and fast drumming and fast shredding guitar song, which melody keeps in sticks into your mind when you listen to the first time, and that's what we exactly wanted as a first single. And everything else is pretty much like you can almost take every pre-chorus as a chorus already. So what we want is to stay melodic, and we always do this in like naturally. It comes just like it comes. We're not sitting there, oh, now this time we got to do this or that different. It comes naturally, and that's a good thing. So we're really relaxed and happy that we got this skills to write like we do.
You you mentioned that you had about 25 songs written for this album and you decided with 13. Do you ever like say, okay, that song doesn't fit for this record, but let's save it, or maybe we'll save a riff from that idea and keep it for another record?
Exactly, Maddie. So we have some similar songs, maybe, right? Which
Yeah.
are doesn't mean that they have to be bad songs, but maybe they're too similar to another track which is on the album.
Yeah.
So that's why we keep it in on our hard disks, and we never know what happens. But of course, you always the next approach for the next album is writing new stuff again, and then maybe you'll remember this or that song. But basically, we're very keen to write and write. Yeah, so
Yeah. Now you're a band that is quite prolific, in my opinion. You seem to put out a record every 2 to 3 years. I mean, that's a lot of work. How do you keep that pace up?
it is. And like I said before, we're in a lucky position that we have this low speed of writing. So we're really I've since when we were finished with the albums, I already had new ideas again for the next album, and I think I can also say this for the other guys. We're always somehow when we are in our studios, we have uh, ideas, and
Yeah.
sometimes I wake up at night with a melody in my mind and just go to my recording box, which is an iPhone, and just
Yeah.
record the melody. And that's a good thing nowadays. Having my own little studio, I can record right away when I got something, and that's how we proceed always. And we always have something like 20 to 25 songs sometimes, and it's just great for
Yeah.
the next time again. We're very creative, and that's really good. We hope that we keep it that way.
Now, I'm always curious, kind of, especially when talking to vocalists, because you're the singer for this band. Do you when you write, do you kind of let maybe the riffs come out first, and then you write a melody that kind of matches that, or the opposite? You guitarists kind of hear something that you've come up with and kind of try to create something that kind of encapsulates it. How does that work?
It's exactly like you say. Sometimes I have melodies, and I take my guitar and shred a little bit and cut it. Like I'm not a guitarist, but I'm skilled to compose. Let's say that,
Yeah.
okay? And sometimes the guys come up with an entire playback already, and say, "Hey, Ralph, now it's your turn. Go
Yeah.
for it. Find melodies and lyrics." And it's a give and take. It's always a teamwork. Sometimes we always have these meetings as well. We nowadays it's so easy to write online as well when somebody has an idea, and you just call Matt and Magnus in our meeting we have. And the very next day, Magnus is so quick. He's really go so quick if he's got the flow, like, oh yeah, I could imagine the song already. So he's pretty quick in producing a demo for it.
Hmm.
Then of course during the recording process, then Andre the drummer brings his parts like he would wants to do it, not like the drum engine or something. It's just like he's bringing in his skills. That's how we always work.
Your label right now, the label you're it's your first record on this label, but you're on Reigning Phoenix Music, which is a newer label, rarely new, that I think is, in my opinion, is constantly putting out amazing bands. They have an incredible roster. Um, what has been your experience with them?
So far so good. I mean,
Yeah.
there are people we know from other companies already, which is
Yeah.
always branched a little bit, you know what I mean? And the thing is, those people are metalheads. They're all fans
Yeah.
also, and that helps. And of course, we have our meetings, what we can improve, and something, our lessons learned so far. So they can learn from us, and we learn from them. So it's also a give and take. So wonderful people, nice people, great working people, busy people, and that's good. Is exactly what we need.
Have you, do you, are you have you played or like met some of the other bands on this label? I mean, we're talking like Halloween and Angra and Amorphis, and these are huge names that you get to share a roster with.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
we know them. So that's cool, yeah. And I also got some new talent coming up as well with new bands. It's great.
Yeah. I ask a lot of power metal bands that come from Europe this, um, because it's for some reason, and I don't understand why this is, but why do you think power metal does so well in, say, Germany, where you are from, but doesn't always seem to land in the States where I'm from?
Well, I mean, your country's so big.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be the same amount of people when you collect all together, which somehow would cover Germany in the end.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know. I mean, there's so many bands coming to Europe playing and all the summer festivals as well. So it's not so easy to go to the States anymore. I mean, I think that's one of the next questions anyway. That with the working visa and everything, I mean, America is still there, and there are many fans are writing, "Why don't you come? We would love to see you." But then on the other hand, it's so hard to get there. Like I said, you have to apply those working visas. You lose a lot of money up front before you not even know that you can come. You got to get lawyers. You got to see the embassy. You lose a lot of money before you touch soil. And if you touch soil, it's not even clear that you're permitted to go in still. So it's quite difficult. It always was somehow, but it's getting really more and more difficult
Yeah.
nowadays anyway. So let's not get too political, but it's an issue right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of this. I go to festivals in the US all the time, and like, oh, the festivals are always updating. Oh, this band didn't get their visas approved, so we have to just replace them with this band. Like, um, have you
Yes.
ever had problems getting in the US when you have tried to play in the US?
I was lucky it was 10 years ago. I was in the Orange Room once.
Yeah. Uh,
But it didn't send me back. So, but I heard that many people got sent back on the very, very exact same day when they flew in, they had to go back. So that's really dangerous in terms of losing a lot of money. Then the entire band can go back.
how do you even how do you even get around? How do you even transport all your gear across the ocean? Like, what is the process? Like, that has to be such a project.
Yeah, I mean the guitarists bring their instruments. Everything else is rented. Of course,
Yeah.
drums is rented, amplifiers are rented, and cabs and everything is rented. You get stuff over there. And that's exactly what they want us to do anyway. When you come to the States, you're not allowed to bring people in there like working for you. I mean, you have to have real reasons if you want to bring your own technicians, whatever, because of course your country wants to have your own people working for your country, which I totally understand. But you see, it's again a problem.
Yeah. And you don't have these problems when you go play other countries in the EU at all, I'm assuming.
Yes, here and there, of course, but we rent their instruments. Coming back to the questions that what we also do in South America, it's not bringing the amps and everything like it's done with big productions with the big names we know out there
Yeah.
like Made the Priest. Well, I don't even know what they do, but we rent our stuff, and I'm quite sure they bring their stuff with their aeroplanes.
Yeah, they have their own private
Yeah,
everything. It's incredible. Um, well, take me back to 1997 when you put out Primal Fear. What what had inspired you? Um, I know you were in Gamma Ray, but what inspired you to start a new power metal band, to start Primal Fear? What was kind of like, oh, I need to start a power metal band like this? What was the story behind that?
that was not my approach this way. I was just coincidental. I mean, you all know what happened after Cabaret, the application of Judas Priest and
Yeah.
Tim and whatever, which is great what happened. But now it's so long ago. Let's don't pick that up again.
Yeah.
But I was there in my city, and I knew Matt and Tom and the other guys from the band Sinner all anyway many many years ago already. So Matt invited me to sing some choirs in the studio, and then we just had a meeting and said, "Hey, why don't we just compose some songs together?" Without any intention to do anything. But then I have this offer from JVC Japan still. Hey Ralph, when you ever got some stuff, just send it to us, and we might sign you. And we made this demo, sent it to Japan, and got a deal right away. So we were in a lucky position, and then in Europe, the record companies started some kind of competition to sign us, and it was a great start for us.
Now, you probably get asked this a lot, but I'm just curious because I actually don't know the answer to this. You use the metallic bird a lot on your album covers. You know, where did that idea come from? What did that represent for you?
Well, the first album had it, and
Yeah,
it became our mascot somehow, Maddie. It always has to be there, maybe sometimes a little bit hidden or maybe a little more obvious. So that's exactly our thing, which we want to keep because it shows now on this album, it shows domination. The eagle is dominating the sky, you know. So
yeah,
and the eagle is liberty, the eagle is power, and that stands for power metal for us, for our name Primal Fear.
yeah. And so this I'm looking at the album cover now, and there's actually a few eagles there, but the eagle is standing above a crowd of looks like soldiers or something, and there's like this smoke. You know, who designed this album cover?
It's actually, as you can tell, it's AI.
Okay.
And right now you got caught me on the wrong foot. I forgot the name. And apologies.
Um,
I think you can Google that up on our homepage. I don't have the name right now, which is a little bit embarrassing, but it's the way it is sometimes.
cool. And you know, have you done an AI cover before?
No, this is the first time actually, but I mean, whenever something is looking good, I mean, I don't have to apologize for that, but and then justify whatever. It's just whenever it's looking good, why not doing it? And I totally
Yeah.
understand the argument behind it. You should still take real artists, yes, of course, but it's always this negotiation again, what costs you have and so forth, and whenever something is looking good, and I think it does look good with the eagle and all this scenery you see there.
Yeah.
It looks pretty powerful, and that's why we decided to take this.
Okay. Um, I was also curious thematically. I mean, domination. What what does that mean in terms of like the record? What is the message behind the idea of domination? What are you trying to get across there?
Yeah, I mean, we had a different name before. We had a song title, but in the end, there's a song called Destroyer,
Yep.
and that was our first thought. But that's a little bit too negative, destroying. So we'd rather dominate than destroy. So, and again, the link to the eagle, the eagle dominates the sky. And so domination is pretty much a statement. Here we are dominating, right? Not to be taken too serious all the time, but you know what I mean. You got the label, the metal stuff, and that's what we did.
Yeah. You're a band, correct me if I'm wrong, but seems to lyrically take a lot of interest in like sci-fi and fantasy. Where did that kind of lyrical inspiration come from? What made you decide to kind of write about all this type of material?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great, in my opinion, to add a little bit science fiction here and there.
Yeah.
You can't, of course, we combine our themes and our lyrics with personal experiences, but you can't be so obvious all the time talking about your life. So, of course, you invent some stories which you might think could be also a movie somehow, but you have to be short in lyrics sometimes. So you have to capture everything in a few sentences. And I think that works pretty well.
Cool. Well, Ralph, that was all I had planned to ask you, but
Cool.
before I let you go, I just want you to give the floor to you to tell my listeners, everything they know, where they can find the album, what they should be looking for when they listen to the album, tour dates, anything you want to plug, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the album will be out September 5th worldwide. So thank you for checking it out,
Yeah.
downloading it, streaming it, whatever you're going to do. Don't Spotify it. Yeah, that would, you know what I mean. Anyway, yes, we are touring Europe then, of course, and we have three festivals left this year. We don't do so much festivals this year because it might distract from the tour. So we're doing Europe first leg, and then we do Europe second leg next year, and we do South American dates. We do much more on festivals next year. The booking company is right now working parallel to cover more cities and countries. So we're going to be very busy in touring next year then. And yeah, we have another single to release. I think in 2 weeks something. There's going to be another song out called Tears of Fire, in a video included. So check this out whenever you are able to. You are find it on the socials and everywhere. It's going to be announced. Yeah, and thanks for your support.
Yeah. Well, for everyone at home, keep a lookout for Domination coming out September 5th. Thank you, Ralph, again for joining me. Thank you to my
Thanks.
patrons, as always, who keep the show running. My name is Maddie, aka Beavermont, and I'm out of here. Bye.
Thanks, Betty.